One person who's really stepped up this season is Bethany. I think she's just taken her leadership role really well. She's just taken everything on her plate and really stepped up, yeah.
She's always got a lot to say. She's really funny though. Everything that comes out of her mouth is funny. So she can always bring my mood up a little bit.
Bethany is like the most hyped person, like outside, like she's always gonna be there, like even when she couldn't play, like she was that person who was gonna make sure like you're hyped, you're ready.
As a captain for our group, you know, I think it's a great person to be in that position, to be able to look at someone and say, hey, like, I think you can give us more today. Don't take it for granted, you know, and she understands more than a lot of the pains of having to watch and not actually be able to be out there and play.
Immediately when I got here my freshman year, I was out for like a month. In the first practice, we started doing some diving, and the next day when I woke up, I couldn't feel like my shoulder. I tore my labrum. I had a slap tear, which is here, and then an anterior tear, which is at the top of my shoulder. 6 to 8 months was the time frame. We had a spring season that year, so I wasn't gonna be able to play in that at all, in that time frame. So I was kind of a cheerleader for my freshman year. I came into my sophomore year with a little bit of like a hip injury, so I wasn't really like cleared yet for shoulder and hip purposes. And then when I finally got cleared, I think I had like found out like 2 or 3 days after I got cleared that I was going to be playing in the Toledo game. My whole family came to the game and everything. That was really exciting for me, at least at that point, before I knew like what was going to happen.
Scooped up by Bethany Moser, her first start of the season.
Everything was going well. It was like 10 minutes into the game, I had like made my first save off of like a free kick, and I was like, okay, here we go, like this is awesome. And then 15 minutes into the game, there was a cross a little bit outside of the 6-yard box. I just went up to go punch a ball out.
Schultz into the box. Keeper's out, scrambled away by Ball State.
It just was like 6 or 7 pops, just like, and it felt like something had like lit my leg up. Like it felt like a bonfire, like something had just exploded in my leg. It was like nothing I had ever felt before. And I just remember laying on the ground and screaming. Josh and the trainer helped me up, and they carried me off and kind of put me behind the bench.
To see someone work as hard as she had to come back from her previous injury, and then within the first 15 minutes of a game, you know, pick up another pretty major injury, we all felt it.
I tore my ACL through. I partially tore my LCL. I tore my meniscus, my medial and lateral meniscus. I tore my MCL. So it almost felt like normal that I was getting news that I was about to be out for so long because I had just gone through it. My initial thought was like, why? I could lift my leg slightly for an inch after a week. You're on crutches for a while, and then you're able to walk, but you're still in a straight leg brace, so you can't move. You're just kind of like limping everywhere. It's pretty slow on what you're allowed to do. It's when you are cleared to start doing things around the 3 months, it's all straight lined. Jogging, not really sprinting. I know I did the Hydro Works a lot, which is where you kind of run in the pool on the treadmill. It's a pretty slow process. It ended up being 9 months. That was hard, but if I was gonna do it, I knew it was gonna have to like come from me. Like no one was gonna be able to force me to do it. So the more I was cleared to do things and the more I was able to help other people, kind of gave me my hope throughout the season, and other people started to get hurt. And so I had these tools from the past 2 years of being hurt that I could give to them.
She offers a different perspective. Like she knows what it's like to have the game taken away, right? She knows what it's like to want desperately to be on the field and just not be able to. And so I think most days she's going to bring a certain level of perspective to training and enjoyment to what we're doing, because her more than a lot of people understands how quickly it can be taken away. And so don't take it for granted, enjoy it, work hard, do your best.
It just felt like everything was coming back into play, and I was a little apprehensive because I had 2 reoccurring injuries. Specifically, like the Toledo game where I got hurt the first time. That was when I was the most nervous because we were warming up on the same side that I tore my ACL. I walked the field before the game by myself, and I went to the spot and I jumped on the spot 5 or 6 times just to prove a point to myself. But it was nerve-wracking, to say the least.
Angle on the left, but a shot right into the waiting arms of Bethany Moser.
There was a play that happened where I was put in the same position, where it was a cross in the same spot, and I remember I landed with my feet on the ground without anything happening, and I was like, okay, you should be fine now, you got that out of the way. I was on edge for the whole half, and then got that first half under my belt, and we were on that side in the first half, and got that over with, and I went off to the sidelines, and everyone was like, hey, you're good now. That was the hardest thing you were gonna have to get through this season. And I remember after that, I was like, you're right, that is probably the biggest mental block I'm gonna have to get through. Then it kind of felt like I could take a deep breath, and that was really nice because it felt like I hadn't taken a deep breath in 3 years.
I think to go through what she has and still come out now and has been playing pretty phenomenal for us, credit to her.
I don't really want to feel self-pity because it's not going to get me anywhere. I'd rather just feel gratefulness for being able to be where I'm at now. I'm able to run now, and that's not something that I ever thought I was going to have to say. I'm able to dive, and that's not something I ever thought was going to be taken away from me, but it's stuff that I appreciate a lot more now.
Get ready for the comeback, comeback, comeback.
I don't think that there's anything that I couldn't get through at this point and come out on the other side, and I think just persevering is something that I'm equipped to do in everything, and that underdog mentality is something that's going to stick with me forever.
Get ready for me.
I don't think that there is any other path that makes sense for me, just because I think the amount of things that I gained through that process is super priceless to me. I don't even know if I would take them back to be able to play, because I think that there are so many things that I gained from it that I never would have gained in any other aspect of my life. It's such a weird and specific situation. I don't think that there was any other plan for me than the plan that I'm in right now.
Oh, get ready for me.